Recorded? Okay. Right, so today we'll have another case study, right? So last class we discussed about the wireless channel model, right? Multi-path model, Rayleigh and Riccian channel model we discussed, right? This is another place where we apply this probability. So this is the packet being transmitted from the transmitter and it is getting received, right? So the requirement is to estimate the packet rate, right? What you see it in the system, right? So what is the rate at which the packets are being received or sent, right? So that is basically, we estimate based on the observation of the time interval between the packet, right? So we observe this time duration between the packet. The moment you observe that value t1, you must be able to estimate what may be that packet rate. It is like that. Any estimation problem is like this basically, right? You would like to estimate some outcome of some random variable based on the observation of another random variable. That is what this estimation all about, right? For example, even in a classical, right, continuous transmission, the signal, for example, right? So I'm just want to give one more. So this is a signal what you transmit, and this is what you get in the receiver, and then you would like to estimate the signal back, right? So this is what this estimation problem is all about, right? So what is that? You observe the outcome of one random variable and then you estimate the outcome of another random variable, right? That is what this estimation problem is, right? For example, this case, let me say that this white color is from the transmitter. We have this transmitter and then receiver. We have this theta and then y here, right? Theta is the random variable associated with what? The transmitter, and y is the random variable associated with the receiver. So what is shown there, that the corrupted one is that y, right? You would like to estimate theta. You would like to estimate theta as theta cap based on the observation of y, right? It is a function of y. Based on the observation of y, you would like to estimate theta as theta cap, right? So this is what the estimation problem is, right? So even here also we are observing the time interval between the packet is the outcome of the random variable t, right? But you are planning to estimate the packet rate. Packet rate we can represent it as theta here, right? So you are trying to estimate that packet rate based on the observation of the time interval between the packet. So this is theta cap is the estimate as a function of t, is the estimation problem. So far whatever we discussed, right, see the additive Gaussian noise model or Riccian model or Rayleigh model, in all the cases what we discussed was the deduction. There is a difference between deduction and estimation, right? So because in case of deduction we know that, right, we have that finite number of choices, right? So for example, in case of binary transmission you have that only two choices, right, 1 or 0. You would like to know whether it is 1 or 0, right? We have to choose from one among the finite number of choice. That is the deduction part, isn't it? But in case of estimation, right, you are trying to get back the signal, like for example if it is AM, if it is FM, right, and wherever you, for example this case, we are actually estimating this packet rate. It is not going to have only finite number of choices, right? So this is packet rate level 1, level 2, like that. It is not that finite. It is going to be what? The continuous. Whenever you try to get or estimate, right, I mean try to get that value for that random variable, we call that problem as what? The estimation problem. I have given very clearly that this is a simple example which gives you the clear idea about what the estimation problem is, right? You observe some random variable and you will try to estimate some other outcome of another random variable. That is what it means. So whenever we have this estimation problem, right, it deals with three probabilities. Probability density function if it is a continuous case, right? So one is what we call it as this prior. The prior density function is all about the density function associated with, right, the random variable which you would like to estimate. For example, this case it is going to be your f of theta. I call it as f1. And the posterior density function is again gives you the measure of the density function associated with the random variable theta, right, but given the condition on what? Y. This is theta given y, right? And we have the another third one which is the other way around, y given theta, right? So prior density, posterior, and then likelihood, right? Basically what we do here is just like what we did for the deduction, we start with the cost function. Right. So what we do here is the cost involved, right? Let me put it as okay. The cost involved in assigning the theta cap of y, which is the estimate, with the true value, right, theta, right? Isn't it? So you are estimating theta cap, but the true value is theta. So you need to give the penalty. We need to create some function that measures this. Very simple measurement is what? Theta minus theta cap of y. The magnitude square is one measurement, right? But I wanted this cost function, right, to be done in an average sense. So I wanted this cost function to be minimized with what? The expectation, right? So here what are the two random variables associated with this? One is the random variable y, the other one is theta, right? So actually strictly speaking I wanted this to be minimized in as an average sense, expectation. So when I take this expectation, it means that I need the joint density function of what? Theta y, because it's a function of theta and y. So I need a joint density function for theta and y, and I wanted to minimize that, right? Now I think I told in this class, but I just remind you. So if I want to take this expectation of x, there is a trick that what? I can fix another random variable y equal to y and then take expectation over y. This we discussed in this class. No, okay. So this is what I'm going to use here, right? So for example, let me check first what is that it mean. So let us take this part here. Expectation of x given y equal to y, right? So what is that? Is basically the function of y, is it not? So this is going to be that function of y, because I am taking this expectation over x by fixing what? The random variable y equal to y. It is going to be that function of y in this. So I'm writing this as a function of y and then multiplied with what? The density function, because the outer expectation is all about expectation over the random variable y, right? So now what is it? G of y. That is very clear. What is that? It is again, right? I'll write it here. What is g of y? G of y is expectation of x given y equal to y. It means what? Integral minus infinity plus infinity x into what is the density function we need? We need a conditional density function fx given y equal to y of x. So instead of g of y, I am writing it as integral x fx given y equal to y of x into what? Fy of y, and here dx will come and then dy will come, right? But now what I am going to do is I am going to combine this. Fx given y equal to y of x is what? The joint density function, right? Fxy of x comma y divided by what? Fy of y. Fy of y gets cancelled, right? And if I take the marginal, right, the integration over what? Dy, it vanishes with what? F of x, right? I hope you are getting that point. What I am telling here is we have this integration x and fxy of x comma y dx dy, right? So I take this x here, I change that order here, right? And what I am telling here is this one is the marginal, right? It is a marginal density function, integral from minus infinity plus infinity fxy of x comma y dy. It is going to be what? Fx of x. So this is fx of x, x into fx of x dx. It is equal to what? Expectation of x. That is the trick what I am using here, right? I am fixing it up one random variable and take expectation over that random variable. You will get the expectation of whatever you need to compute, right? It is not only for x, you can keep it as what? Function of xy also, right? Whatever you put it in there, right? You can fix one of the random variable and take the expectation over that random variable. This trick is very, very important. We are going to use it in many places. I am telling this one because I wanted to attack this problem by taking two expectation by fixing one of the random variable. Right? I take the expectation, the inside, by fixing it up what? Y equal to y, and take the expectation over what? I am sorry, it is not theta, right? So it is y here. You are fixing y equal to y just like what we did here, and take the expectation over what? Y. The same way I am fixing y equal to y and then taking expectation over all values of y. I hope you are getting this, right? Any doubt in this? Right? So I am fixing it up one random variable and take the expectation over that random variable. Are you getting this? This is the trick what I am going to use, and this is just to make you understand why this is true, right? So now, as I told you that you have the choices for this cost function, right? One of the simple choice is what I told you little earlier, right? What is that? Theta cap of y minus theta whole square, right? So that is one cost function we can imagine. writing it as a case 1 because this choice is in your control. I can choose any choice for the cost. One is theta cap of y minus theta the whole square. The another one is what? Theta cap of y minus theta, the absolute difference instead of taking square, right? And I can imagine, right? So like that. So initially I am choosing it as just a square difference, theta cap of y minus theta the whole square, right? And you see that I replace this one here, expectation of y here, expectation of theta cap of y minus theta the whole square given y equal to y. In fact, I wanted to minimize this. To minimize this, right, the overall average, if you are able to minimize for every values of y, I am talking about this internal expectation, this one, if I am minimizing this for every values of y, right, then that overall expectation is going to be that, going to get minimized. So I am going to take only that, the inner part, right, so I will take that expectation of theta cap of y minus theta the whole square given what? Y equal to y. This is the function now which I wanted to minimize, right? So what is that you want actually? You want the estimation, that is theta cap of y, that is what you want, right? So what I do here is I differentiate this with respect to theta cap of y and equal to 0 and I solve for theta cap of y, right? So what is that you get? If I differentiate with respect to theta cap of y, you get expectation of 2 times theta cap of y minus theta given y equal to y here, that is equal to 0, right? So you see that we have 2 terms in this. One is expectation of theta cap of y given y equal to y is one term. Expectation of theta given y equal to y is another term. Expectation of theta cap of y, right, given y equal to y, right, it is theta cap of y because you are already fixing y equal to y, right? It's no more random variable in that case. So theta cap of y is equal to the second term, theta is a random variable, right? So you get that expectation of theta given y equal to y. I hope this is clear to you. So theta cap of y is expectation of theta given y equal to y. That is the answer. That is the final answer for this. This is what we call it as MMSE, minimum mean square estimate, MMSE. So that's the reason I told why this density function is important for us, right? So how to find out this expectation of theta given y equal to y? How to get this? What is the expression? This is theta, right? We need to have that posterior density function. What is that posterior density function? It is f2 of theta given y into d theta. As simple as this. This is going to be your theta cap of y. If I want to know theta cap of y, this is what I have to do, right? So what it really mean? I mean, this is okay. Theoretically we are able to understand that, right? What really we are doing? We are actually finding out the mean. It is just the expectation, conditional expectation, right? Conditional mean. You are finding out this theta as an average given y equal to y. What does it mean intuitively? Now this is okay, fine. Intuitively what does it mean? See, you are transmitting theta and you are getting y. Theta takes all possible values, right? And you are getting all possible values for that y also, right? But you see that I would like to know what is my theta based on the observation of what? Y. a typical value of y. So if I fix y equal to y, small y, and I am looking back, what are all the possible values, from the transmitter, right, that ends up with this y, right? For example, it may be theta 1, theta 2, theta 3, theta 4 and so on. I can put it as some number. This is just for you to understand, right? I have theta 1, theta 2, theta 3, theta 4, so many values I have. Everything I transmit from the transmitter, right, ends up with the same value y. It is getting disturbed like this. You understood the point what I am telling? The same y you are getting, but in the transmitter you are getting what? Various choices for it. The one of the way to see what may be the best choice I can choose for theta is just the average, right? Average means expectation. This is intuitively I wanted to understand, make you understand, right? This is the expectation of theta given what? Y equal to y. You are observing y and you are finding out what is that? Average over that, right? Strictly speaking, if I go for that figure, the posterior density function plot, you get something like this. This is what you are, okay, f2 of theta given y, and it is the function of theta here. You are already fixing y, that is what, it is not the function of y. You are already fixing y and you are finding out what is the density function over what? Theta. I hope you are getting right. You are fixing y and you are finding out what is the density function for theta. This is what you are getting. Now what I told was, you find out mean of this. This is a density function, just like a Gaussian density function. Suppose this happens to be Gaussian, then what is the solution? Solution is simply the mean. But this is some arbitrary density function. In that case, you have to find out what is that mean. Mean is what? Expectation of theta given y equal to y. As simple as it. This is called the conditional mean solution, right? Intuitively we understand there are other ways to get that result. What is that? One is, we discuss about this conditional mean, so automatically as a flow it comes to what? Conditional median and then conditional mode. What is that conditional median means? So in that case what I have to do is, I'll discuss with the cost function little later. Before intuitively, so for example this case, let me put somewhere here is theta cap of MMSC is a mean, is a location of mean, right? Now what I am doing here is I am looking for some point, some other point, and I am finding out this area all the way. In fact it has to go up to, there is no restriction, right? It can even go up to this infinity, right? So I am just finding out this area, the negative side, even it goes to what? Infinite here, right? And then I am finding out the area in the right hand side. Here again it goes up to this infinity. I can choose this value of theta such that this area is equal to that area of that yellow, right, that is equal to this pink, right? And we have this solution here, theta cap, it is MMAE, right, absolute error, absolute estimation, right? So I'll tell you that what is that cost function for that, right? But this is just to make you understand as a flow, right? We discussed that conditional mean is one of the solution, MMSC, and we have another solution, MMAE, right? It is not actually finding out the conditional mean, instead it is actually finding out the conditional median. Means what? You look for the posterior density function and you find out that the area from minus infinity to that point and from that point to infinity, and you look for that point such that these two area is equal. So that is going to be your MMAE. And the last choice is again very simple, it is a conditional mode. You look for theta that gives you that posterior density function value as the highest, the peak, right. So here we are able to locate it, we are able to locate that point as the peak here, right, and this one I am calling it as theta cap as map. Map means what? Maximum posterior probability density function. This one, this is what, if I put maximum here, M A, right, P, okay, map, maximum posterior density functional value. So we have only three choice. One is either you find out the conditional mean, or you go for conditional median, or you look for the conditional mode, the peak, right. This is a three choice for doing this estimation, but this is what you must know. This is not only for the problem of transmitter and receiver, it is a more general problem. That's what I wanted to do, something else, not with the telecommunication. Of course it's also related with communication, but is a problem is different. It is not to estimate the signal back, right, it is just to estimate the packet rate. We will do that task little later. Before that, right, so this estimation problem involves you have to look for the variable which you would like to estimate, right. For that variable you have to find out what is called the prior density function, right. In fact what we really need is the posterior density function, but I told we have other two. One is the prior density function and then likelihood function. Why it is called prior density function? It is a density function without observation. We don't know the outcome of the random variable y, what is there in the receiver, that we don't know. Even without knowing what is that random variable y, without observing the random variable y, what is the density function of theta? That is what we call it as prior. Posterior is after observation. You are observing y and then you are finding out what is my density function for theta. So that is called this posterior density function. And the likelihood function is the other way around. What is the density function of y? This is talking about the density function of the receiver random variable, or right, the observation, given what? Theta. Theta is fixed. Okay, in all the three cases I told MMSE, MMAE or MAP, in all the three cases I talked about only what? The posterior density function. That is right, we have to use only the posterior density function, but this posterior density function is hardly known. We really don't know that posterior density function in many cases, and hence we have other choice, right, this prior and likelihood function. In fact, if I know the likelihood function, sometimes likelihood function is easy to model, or we will get it likelihood function. In that case I can relate this, right. It's a very simple relationship using what? The Bayes, right. So what is that? Can you tell me that? F2 of theta given y is equal to what? I want to relate with what? This likelihood with what? The prior, and then why I am doing this like this, right. So this is just like the probability. It is density function, but I just wanted to make you understand this is what I am doing. Probability of AB by probability of B, and that is what? Probability of B by A into what? Probability of A divided by probability of B. Even this probability of B can be written as, this is probability of A divided by, put sigma probability of B given A into what? Probability of A, and do the summation over what? Summation over, because we need probability of B here, so you need to do that summation over A. If you do that, you get probability of B, because what is this? Probability of B given A into probability of A is what? Probability of A comma B or B comma A, whatever you call, and take the summation over A. What will you get? You will get marginal probability, that is probability of B you get, right? Am I right? So just like this I have written here in the form of density function. Remember that they are density function, not probability. That caution you must always have that. So you will, it is not giving you the probability, but still looks like that. That is that additional point I just wanted to tell you that. So why this likelihood function and the prior density function is important in estimation? Remember that we are interested only on posterior density function, but if it is not known, then we have to go for this prior and likelihood function that gives you the posterior finally. Once you get this posterior, right, then I can go for MMSE, MMAE or MAP for doing this estimation, right. So now suppose that my prior is also not known. What is known to you is only the likelihood function. Even that prior density function is not known to us, right. That is a tricky, and in fact many real time applications they used to have this problem, right. In that case what they do is they assume this f1 of theta as constant. It means that it is uniformly distributed, it is just a constant, and you see that this denominator is a function of y, that is not going to play the important role in finding out what is that theta, right. So now I go for the third rule, which is map. What is that map rule says? You find out the theta that maximizes what? f2 of theta given y. So the third rule, I am using the third rule, so I am taking that max of this is same as that of what? Max of this, and I told that this is constant and this is nowhere related with theta. These two are not playing the role in finding out the theta that maximizes this figure, right. So what we get is simply the likelihood function f3 of y given theta. Maximizing that posterior density function now become just maximizing likelihood function, but with the major assumption that the prior density function is simply constant, that is 1, and of course the denominator is not playing any role in finding out that max for theta, right. So this is what is popular, is what we call as maximum likelihood estimation. If you read the paper in whatever the domain you are, they used to give this, right, the statement maximum likelihood estimation, right, ML. This is the fourth one, right, this is the ML, maximum likelihood estimation, right. MMSE, MMAE, MAP, and then ML, maximum likelihood, right. These four are most popular way of doing estimation, right. So I just quickly tell you that the cost function for the other two cases, and I wind up the class. Okay, I'll use that. So in case of MMSE, we know that cost function is, okay, Okay. Now MMAE and map right. So the second one is intuitive, you understand what does it mean. Instead of square I am just using what, absolute difference, that's all, right. So and the third one is structured this way, the absolute difference, this theta minus theta cap of y, if it is greater than delta by 2, we want actually this theta cap of y is as close as possible to what, the true value theta. If it is greater than delta by 2, then I need to assign cost for it. If it is lesser than delta by 2, I am giving that cost function value as 0. So I am happy that if it is less than delta by 2. I am not happy if it is greater than delta by 2. I assign some cost for it, and that cost function is chosen purposefully as 1 by delta. I tell you the reason, because that only ends up with this peak here. How that is coming, that we will discuss little later. So that is what this cost function, right. So theta minus theta cap of y, if it is greater than delta by 2, you get a cost. If it is less than that, the cost function is 0. So as simple as it. So we have this delta. In fact, this delta I wanted that to be as small as possible, right. So that is what this map. And MMAE is just the absolute difference between theta minus theta cap of y, that needs to be minimized, right. So okay, we will see this third one. So we need to take what, this expectation of C of theta, right, comma theta cap of y, given what, y equal to y, right. So this is what you would like to minimize, right. So you want to find out this expectation over this, because this is the cost function. How will you find out this expectation? So now comes to this task, right. So that is what this course is about, how to find out this expectation. So when you have the finite number of split up here, right, it is like, you have a random variable x, and if I have the outcome of the random variable x as 1 and 2, and if I know what is the probability of x equal to 1 and probability of x equal to 2, what you do, 1 into probability of x equal to 1 plus 2 into probability of x equal to 2, that is what you do for finding out this expectation. When you have only the discrete choices for it, then I take what, the corresponding probability into that corresponding value. See, I can view this C of theta comma theta cap of y as some random variable x, I mean just for understanding purpose. It is discrete for me because it takes either the value 1 by delta or 0. I can view in that way. So for finding out this expectation, it is very simple. What I do, I take this, the first value delta, then I multiply with this probability associated with that region, because we need to know what is the probability of this x becoming this is same as that of what, the probability of this to be greater than or equal to delta by 2. I am writing that plus what, 0 into the other thing, anyhow it is going to be 0, this probability it is going to vanish here, right. And remember that this probability with condition is needed, so I will include that condition here. The problem is over. We have this 1 by delta probability of the absolute difference theta minus theta cap of y to be what, greater than or equal to delta by 2. I can write it as this is equal to 1 by delta 1 minus probability of theta minus theta cap of y less than or equal to delta by 2, and equivalently I convert the problem to this minimization problem as 1 by delta probability of theta minus theta cap of y to be less than or equal to what? Delta by 2. Remember that I'm sorry, maximization. Originally the problem is what? The minimization, and we have this 1 minus this, right? Minimizing this whole term is obtained just by maximizing the second term with that delta also as a constant, right? So this probability of the absolute difference theta minus theta cap of y less than or equal to delta by 2 divided by delta, this one I wanted to maximize, isn't it? So what is that unknown here? Of course everywhere I need to write this condition, that I am not writing. Given y equal to y, right? So you can write this probability of the absolute difference between theta minus theta cap of y to be what? Less than or equal to delta by 2. What is the range for theta satisfying this region? What is the range? Theta is between what? Theta cap of y minus delta by 2 to what? Theta cap of y plus delta by 2. I hope this is known to you, right? So I am looking for the probability associated with theta, right? So I am rewriting that expression as 1 by delta here, this probability of theta, right? Theta cap of y minus delta by 2 theta cap of y plus delta by 2 given y equal to y. This is 1 by delta here, right? So this is basically the probability over some range, x ranging from where? x1 to x2. I can write this one in terms of what? The distribution function, right? So if I have like probability of x ranging from alpha 1 to alpha 2, what is that you write? Fx of alpha 2 minus fx of alpha 1, am I right? Because what is fx of alpha 1? It is probability of x less than or equal to alpha 2 minus probability of x less than or equal to alpha 1. That will give you the probability of x ranging from where? Alpha 1 to alpha 2, isn't it? So that is the way I am going to write there as the theta here, f theta, right? Given, of course, I will write this, it is going to be the conditional distribution, right? F theta, this one, theta cap of y plus what? Delta by 2 minus, I write the same thing, theta given y equal to y here, this is theta cap of y minus delta by 2, right? And I already told that this delta you wanted to have a limit tends to what? 0. So if I apply this limit, right, what does it mean? Everywhere I will write it as max here, right? This I need to max and this one I need to max here. So what is that definition? This looks like the differentiation, right? F of x plus h minus f of x divided by h, limit h tends to 0, it is like that. So it is nothing but the differentiation of that distribution function, right? That differentiation of the distribution function ends up with what? The density function. So it's actually ending up with what? Conditional density function. What is that conditional density function? F2 of what? Theta given y. That's what you are looking for, this peak. Max of the density function is going to be your answer, right? Max of F2 of theta given y. So the solution to this one is simply look for the peak of the posterior density function, right? And similarly, when you do the task for this MMAE, it ends up with what? The median, right? Right? Okay. Anyhow, so what does this mean? Basically, see, we can say that we have another intuitive understanding. This is the probability associated with what? Theta given y equal to y, isn't it? So let me have a density function like this. This density function is F2 of theta given y, and you are interested in finding out this probability of theta over this range, right? So some point I choose here, right? So this one I call it as theta cap of y because I want to call this as theta cap of y minus delta by 2, and we have here theta cap of y plus delta by 2, and this area is a probability. Area under the curve of the density function will give you that probability, right? So I'm actually finding out the small strip here, and of course it is getting multiplied with 1 by delta, that is whatever the value you get here, and that is multiplied with what? 1 by delta here, right? And what I am doing here is simply this is I have drawn is a big, but it is too small because your delta tends to what? 0. When delta tends to 0, in fact these variations will not be there. We can approximate this variation as just a flat, because this delta is as small as possible. In fact this delta to be what? Tends to 0, right? And in fact I can view this is the value in the middle. What is that? Theta cap of y. The same thing I can consider this the value here, F2 of theta cap of y given y. This midpoint I am telling, the corresponding functional value, that I am going to choose it as a constant over that range, right? I am just finding out what is that area. What is the area? This width is what? Delta, and it is multiplied with 1 by delta, it gets cancelled. You get only the density functional value. What is that? F of theta cap of y given y. What really you are doing is you are actually finding out some strip, and you are keep on sliding to the left and the right. See, it is like you are sliding like this and finding out this area, slide area, and so on. You stop at the point where you get that maximum area. It is equivalently saying finding out the peak point because my delta is too small, right? And that is what exactly your map is. Maximum posterior probability density function, right, is the solution obtained from the posterior density function, right? Find out the peak, that is the solution, that is the estimate, right? So the MMAE you try yourself, I am not going to do, right? So MMAE I may ask in the test, but so expectation of the absolute difference theta minus theta cap of y given y equal to y. Got it? That's what you need to do. Other things you do yourself. Expectation of theta minus theta cap of y given y equal to y. This you would like to what? You find out this theta cap of y such that this is getting minimized. I will give the hint for doing, if you expand this, right, you get integral, right, absolute difference theta minus theta cap of y, and multiplied with the density function, conditional density function, that is f2 of theta given y d theta. Then you split the integral into two part, change the limit accordingly. Initially the limit is from minus infinity plus infinity. Now you can change the limit, make it as two part in that. I am just giving the hint. And then you differentiate with respect to what? Theta kappa of y. In that limit you get this theta kappa of y actually. I mean in the integral limit you get theta kappa of y. So you have to use what? I told that one in that class. What is that? Leibniz integration. I think we did it for some other problem. Use the same Leibniz integration to solve this. You will find the solution as it is going to be, right, minus infinity to theta kappa of y MMAE f2 of theta given y d theta, that is equal to integral theta kappa of y to infinity f2 of theta given y d theta. This is what you will get. It means that it is a median. Median, right? So the area from minus infinity to the point what you consider, from that point to infinity, both area is going to be what? The same, right? So I have given the solution, but you do the problem, right? And I have given already the hint. You make it as a two split up, two integration in parts, you do it, and you have a limit. The limit will have theta kappa of y. Use Leibniz integration, differentiate with respect to theta kappa of y, right, and equal to 0, and you get this answer. You just check whether you are getting or not, right? So we have three classical solution for the estimation. One is MMSE, MMAE, and then MAP, and we have the alternative thing which we call it as what? Maximum likelihood estimation, when the prior probability and is, in fact this posterior density function is not known, only likelihood function is given, even prior is not known, then you go for likelihood function, right? With this we'll stop today's talk. Okay, tomorrow we'll discuss about this packet.